Hello everyone, welcome to Kansas Future. Today, we have an analysis that's going to keep every Chiefs fan on their toes. We're diving deep into an injury report that's stirring things up behind the scenes in Kansas City. With the team in a great position leading the season, what's happening with some of our key players is something we're all watching closely. And of course, before we kick things off, go ahead and hit that like button to support our content and show that you're with us every step of the way. Every detail matters, especially with such a long injury list involving some major names. This week's topic, the Kansas City Chiefs injury report. You might be wondering which players are in doubt. We'll cover everything happening with Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kareem Hunt, Mecole Hardman, and even some key defensive members like George Karlaftis and Mike Dana. Yes, Chiefs Kingdom is on high alert, and with good reason. We're set to face the Broncos in a Sunday rematch, and there couldn't be a worse time to handle so many injuries with a short week to prepare. Head coach Andy Reid and his medical team have been doing the impossible to get our Warriors ready for battle. Every injury, every absence, and every recovery is going to impact how this season unfolds and the dream path to the Super Bowl. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and stay with us until the end, because this talk promises to be a good one. General updates. Who's in and who's out? Let's start with the players who didn't participate in practice. Unfortunately, the only active players missing from both practice days were wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster and defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton. For those wondering what this means, we'll break it all down. Reid has already discussed Wharton's situation, describing it as a knee bruise, which might not be too serious. However, consecutive absences raise a question mark about his availability against the Broncos. In Juju Smith-Schuster's case, it's a bit more delicate. He's been out since October 20th when he was forced to leave due to a hamstring injury. This is a big concern as Juju's potential is enormous, and the team clearly feels his absence on the field. Will he be able to return and contribute? The answer to that question is still up in the air. What's at stake with Kareem Hunt and Hardman? Another player everyone's watching is Kareem Hunt, one of the most explosive running backs in the league, who's been shouldering a heavy load since the start of the season. For the past few weeks, he's been limited in early practices, suggesting the team is managing his workload to prevent bigger physical issues. Hunt, averaging over 22 carries per game, is crucial to the Chiefs' offense. If he's limited, our game plan will need adjustments, especially against an opponent like the Broncos, which could make things challenging. We also can't forget Mecole Hardman, who's been dealing with shoulder and knee injuries. He has participated in practice in a limited capacity, but his potential impact is still uncertain. With Hardman out or limited, we lose a key player for both offense and returns, which are essential for good field position. Will he be ready for the game, or will we have to rely on other talent to fill that gap? George Karlaftis and the defensive line. Moving on to defense, let's talk about George Karlaftis. The young defensive end has been essential in pressuring opposing quarterbacks, but an abdominal injury limited his practice participation. Thankfully, he was able to fully participate on Thursday, which is great news for all of us. In such an important game, having a healthy Karlaftis could be the difference between a win and a loss. Another defensive name that's been talked about is Mike Dana. He's been out since the game against the Saints in early October, but has finally returned to full practice, indicating that he could be back on the field on Sunday. With him in play, our defensive line gains more depth, something crucial against a team like the Broncos with a solid running game and a strong offensive line. Patrick Mahomes, our tireless warrior. And of course, we couldn't forget about Patrick Mahomes. Our star quarterback recently suffered an ankle injury, which had everyone on edge. But to the fans' relief, Mahomes fully participated in practice throughout the week, signaling that he's ready to lead the offense on Sunday. In his own words, Mahomes said the ankle is doing well and that he can move around without restrictions. Having Mahomes on the field is undoubtedly a relief for the entire fan base. His impact on our game is massive, and with his talent, we know he can turn the Chiefs' offense into a real nightmare for any defense. So yes, Chiefs Kingdom, we can breathe a little easier. Mahomes is in charge, and that makes all the difference. Other key defensive names, Nazeeh Johnson and the secondary's impact. To wrap up our injury report, let's talk about Nazeeh Johnson. He recently suffered a concussion but returned to full practice. With him alongside Trent McDuffie, the Chiefs' aerial defense gains new strength, something essential as we face opposing attacks. With Johnson back, our defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, will have more options and flexibility to adjust coverages, pressure the opposing quarterback, and make things much harder for the Broncos. Chiefs Kingdom. It's time to weigh in, so Chiefs Kingdom, after hearing all this, what's the verdict? Are these injuries too big of an obstacle? Or do you believe our roster and coaching staff are capable of overcoming any challenge? Mahomes is ready to play, but Juju's absence and the uncertainty around Hardman and Hunt leave some questions. The big question is, will these setbacks weigh heavily against the Broncos? Do you think we can rely on our current lineup strength and the genius of Andy Reid and our coordinators? We're entering a crucial stretch of the season, and every game counts. Leave your opinions in the comments. Share what you think can be done to strengthen the team. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to keep up with every detail of this epic season. Do you understand what just happened at the NFL trade deadline? No? Well, let me break it down for you. In a move that no one saw coming, the reigning two-time Super Bowl champions just pulled off a game-changing deal that could shake the very foundations of the NFL. You think your team's on the rise? Think again. The Chiefs just stacked the deck. And trust me, you're going to want to hear exactly what they did. Let's just say this move wasn't just a trade. It's a statement. Hold tight because this is about to get real. The Kansas City Chiefs have done it again. They've once more thrown their hat into the ring and flexed their muscles in a way that commands attention, respect, and most importantly, fear. The Chiefs are no longer just a good team. They've become a dynasty in the making, one that continues to set the standard for what it means to be great in this league. And when the trade deadline came around, they did what any great team does. They made a move that only makes them more dangerous. The blockbuster trade. DeAndre Hopkins joins the Chiefs. DeAndre Hopkins, the perennial all-pro wide receiver who reached the mountaintop with the Houston Texans, was available. In a move that could very well define the 2024 season, the Chiefs brought him into their fold. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's get one thing straight. This trade isn't just about adding a talented receiver to an already stacked offense. No, this is bigger than that. This is about the Chiefs putting their foot on the gas and saying to the rest of the NFL, we're not just satisfied with 2 championships. We're coming for a third, and we're doing whatever it takes to get there. Hopkins is no slouch, a 12-year veteran with over 950 career receptions, 12,743 yards, and 5 All-Pro selections under his belt. The man is a walking highlight reel. You don't reach those numbers without being special. But here's the kicker. This move isn't just about stats. It's about something far more critical: opportunity. And the Chiefs seized that opportunity like a predator smelling blood in the water. The fact that they managed to acquire Hopkins for just a 5th-round pick, which could become a 4th, should leave the rest of the NFL shaking their heads in disbelief. Beyond the numbers, the mentality Hopkins brings. What makes this move truly dangerous for the rest of the league is what Hopkins brings to the table beyond the statistics. It's his mentality. It's the way he prepares, the way he handles his craft, and the way he lifts the entire room around him. Andy Reid himself was quick to point out just how professional Hopkins has been in his brief time with the team. The work ethic, unmatched. The dedication, top tier. And the best part, he's just getting started. How Hopkins fits into the offense now. I know what you're thinking. How does Hopkins fit into this offense that's already home to one of the greatest quarterbacks in history, Patrick Mahomes? A man who's been carrying the weight of a championship contender on his shoulders for years? Well, let me tell you something. This addition makes Mahomes' job even easier. We're talking about opening up the entire playbook. When you have a talent like Hopkins, defenses have to pay attention and account for where he is at all times. And when you have to account for Hopkins, that means someone else is going to be open. It's a simple game of numbers. And with Mahomes pulling the trigger, the Chiefs' offense just became even more deadly. The ripple effect on the rest of the team. Let's not forget the ripple effect this has on the rest of the team. The Chiefs already had a perfect record before this trade, but the reality is that they've been playing in some tight spots this season. They've been making plays when it matters most. And now, with the addition of Hopkins, the question is, how much better can they get? In a season where injuries have plagued many contenders, the Chiefs have managed to stay healthy for the most part. But that's not the full story, because it's not just about being healthy, it's about playing smart. Hopkins is a player who can elevate the intelligence and focus of the team. We all know the Chiefs have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We know they have a coaching staff that's been there, done that, and knows what it takes to win big. But now, with Hopkins on board, the Chiefs have become a true juggernaut, one that no one can take lightly. The addition of Josh Uche, strengthening the defense. But wait, you thought the Chiefs were done? Not so fast. There's another element to this trade that cannot be overlooked. The addition of pass rusher Josh Uche. While Uche may not be the immediate headline that Hopkins is, his presence will also make an impact. The Chiefs aren't just preparing for a potential playoff run. They're preparing for a long, grueling postseason where every single play matters. Uche adds another layer to this defense. making the Chiefs even harder to deal with. He brings a dynamic presence that can disrupt opposing quarterbacks and create pressure in critical moments. This move, combined with the Hopkins acquisition, shows that the Chiefs are not just aiming to compete, they're aiming to dominate. The message to the NFL: the Chiefs mean business. This isn't just a trade, it's a message. The Chiefs are sending a clear signal to the rest of the league. We're not satisfied with past success. We're here to set a new standard, and we're not holding back. With Mahomes leading the charge, Hopkins adding firepower to the offense, and Uchi strengthening the defense, the Chiefs are poised to be a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the season. So buckle up, NFL fans, because the Kansas City Chiefs just raised the stakes. And if you thought the road to the Super Bowl was already tough, it just got a whole lot tougher. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. So, what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all the Chiefs action and exclusive stories. Let's keep this winning streak alive. And go Chiefs!